Hello, that is so much better. Yes, when the mic is on, it generally works better. All right, I'm just gonna do a quick sound check to make sure everything is working fine on YouTube and Twitch. Here we go. Should be okay. Should be okay. Double check that. Switch. Check that. Excellent. Hello, and welcome to MattGoesRogue. First stream in a long time in face-to-face. It's good to see you. It's good to be back, and I am really thrilled to being able to connect with you this way and to be back on Twitch as well. Excellent stuff. So, for those who are new to the channel, welcome. I'm Matt, and on MattGoesRogue we talk about storytelling in interactive entertainment, video games, and TTRPGs. I'm passionate about storytelling, narratology, how stories are told via, digital mediums. Hello, les contre l'imaginaire. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining today to this little impromptu stream. I just decided to actually press play and press, start streaming. So it's great to have you here. So what we're going to do today? Well, here's the little schedule. Hey, good to see you as well. Good to see you. So today we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows, we're going to talk about Indiana Jones, the new Xbox game, and we're going to talk about Star Wars Outlaws. So quite a bit of Ubisoft today. I mean, this is not sponsored by Ubisoft, but it's what it is. Those titles are really on the forefront of news and actualities, and I'm quite curious about them. So let's get started. Let's see, what are the promises behind those trailers, those walkthrough, what we can anticipate, and we'll look at the different websites as well to see how the games are pitched to us, what are the offers around pre-release and pre-orders, and if it's worth it, and if you're gonna, jump on board, or if you're going to wait a little bit before those gonna have been playtested properly and released properly. Now, some of the trailers you're going to see today are work in progress, so we're gonna keep that in mind in terms of criticism. We're not going to criticize so much the playability quite yet, or some of the renders, but we're going to look at, what again are the promises of those storylines and the games that are part of the schedule for today. Here we are. So we're going to start with Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm just going to put down the music here. And this is the new game from Ubisoft that is going to be released a little bit later this year. So this is a work in progress. I do have some drop frames at my hand. It's not the video itself, it's my recording. But that should be okay nonetheless for the little explanation. So Assassin's Creed, I'm a big fan of the series. I started to play Assassin's Creed's Origins a few years back. The Egyptian setup, then the Greek setup with Odyssey, followed by Valhalla. It does look amazing. I totally agree. Valhalla, which the Viking setup, and recently Assassin's Creed Mirage. If you look back at the channel, you will see that I've completed the game, and I had a great time. First, it was a little bit hard on the adoption, but I did understand where they wanted to go with it, and the payoff was so rewarding in terms of storytelling. So Assassin's Creed Shadows, this one is set up into feudal Japan, and you will be able to play two different characters. One will be a samurai and the other one will be an assassin. So you will be able to change one character to the other based on your mission preferences, and to go for more stealth approaches to assassins, or to, at the contrary, really barge your way in and go berserk if you want to. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly like the Ghost of Tsushima. It will be the version of Ubisoft, I believe, but with the source of Assassin's Creed, obviously, and possibly some more lore that is related to the sci-fi environment of the franchise. I am starting to get really confused about the kind of sci-fi environment and lore of Assassin's Creed, but I'm hoping to see the light one day about what's going on in the background. Nonetheless, so this is what we have. So obviously beautiful environment, a lot of environmental storytelling around that particular segment. And this gameplay, this work in progress, will show what a mission will look like. So it's a game that will be really focused on the notion of honor, loyalty, and all kind of like almost ancestral values of the culture. Here in that particular segment of the game, we are going to meet that particular villager, and she has been oppressed by a a notable lieutenant of the area of the district, putting pressure on the people of the village. And your mission would be to find that person and confront him to appease the villagers and make sure they are not under the thumb of this thug lieutenant, I would say. So this is how it's going to play out. So obviously a lot of mission of the kind to bring peace back to the people and to be at service, obviously as part of your job and your mission. And the mission will be divided by little segments, first travel to the village, then identify the character, confront him, and, liberate the people from that kind of oppression. Yes, they do, absolutely, you're absolutely right, Les Contrées, wrestling. They do have an ongoing Kickstarter about Assassin's Creed RPG at the moment. This is very true. I think there are a few playtests ongoing at the moment as well, and they are about to release the Magic the Gathering's Assassin's Creed. Here we go. So if you like TCGs and you like Assassin's Creed, hey, the best of two worlds in one go. I'm quite excited about the cards, and I look forward to have my little hands on it. Here we go. So when you look at obviously the gameplay right now, beautiful render in terms of texture and environment. There's one thing that I'm missing most of the time in this kind of setup is a little bit of work camera in terms of lens work. I found that everything is a little bit in focus and kind of drop some of the cinematic experience. You see that you have a nice blur in the background, but you have nothing of the kind when you are, working around. So for me, everything is a little bit in focus, and visually speaking, maybe it's just me, but I don't know really where to look, and it feels like everything is really important. Well, it's not the case. So in terms of combat mechanic here, we have a strong melee attack. We do have mechanics related to armor resistance as well, which is pretty cool. And this is one of those guys as well. They're going to have some armor on the helmet. So you must need first to break the armor before, touching the kind of health level of the characters. So that's kind of new. I don't remember Assassin's Creed doing that before, which is good. On the side here, you will have obviously the different kind of attack options and the different type of weapons you can use. Obviously, it's heavy melee here, and that's what will be the particular style of that character. I really like the black and white and red blood spatter of it. I think it's really graphic and very true to the culture as well. So this is kind of like, a massive baseball with like barbed wires or something of the equivalent. So quite heavy set attack, and that can really help, obviously, if you have a lot of opponents. But if you want to be stealthy, maybe that's not the best option for a character. So you will be able to swap character before every mission and have a more stealthy approach or a more kind of bazooka kind of head first type of approach to problem solving in Assassin's Creed. I really like the slides on the mod as well. It's pretty cool. I mean, the game looks beautiful. Let's be honest. It's again, it's quite strong on the attack. Absolutely. The moves are pretty cool. I think there's still a few adjustments to make in terms of key transitions on the animation, but it's a work in progress, and it's quite likely that this demo was produced a few months back, so it's not significant of where the game is. We need to keep that in mind. It's a little bit on the, schedule-wise, it's a little bit behind. Yeah. They look like crab, like in the Legend of the Five Rings. Yeah, I guess it's a style. I guess it can work if you work sideways. It does work. Here we go. So the animatics are very smooth as well. I really like that works, man. And here comes the second character that you can play. So this character will have a more stealthy approach. She will work in the shadows, and you will see in a minute the way she operates. I'm quite keen of playing her character, although I don't know the stories or the scale of the different type of missions, but I found her approach a little bit more interesting. Let's find out. Now, in terms of environment, just a quick note on this as well, there will be quite a bit of emphasis about seasons and when you play the missions, which means that depending on your progression, I believe the seasons will change, which means that, for example, in the winter, people will be more indoor. in the summer, people will be more outside, or the night would drop a bit later, which means the guards will be likely to be around the fortress or the camps of interest a bit longer, might be able to see you more. So there's an emphasis based on season. So here we go, this is the moment when you can play and decide which character you want to play for the next segment of the game. And that is pretty cool. I think that hasn't been seen since Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I believe. And I like that, that brings diversity and a little bit of gameplay alternative instead of staying with one character only or having just a set of attacks and defense that are consistent, although you can upgrade through the game, but are a little bit, I would say, similar throughout. So yeah, here we go. So stealth mission this time with our secondary character here, Naohe, I believe her name is. So that's really smooth, and I love the wire here. I love the grappin. I'm not sure about the word for this, but this is really cool, and the animation is very smooth as well. So this one is all about stealth. It's about blending into the shadows and even shocking and knocking down the lights around so you can make progression into the area. If you are seen by one of the guards, you won't be able to perform attacks. And that is kind of the limitation of the character. So you really need to be stealthy, you really need to be tactical about your progression. And I found that really cool. And this is a bit of an upgrade from Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was all focused on stealth. I find the interaction with the environment is really interesting and opens a lot of possibilities. And the fact that you have to flee the area if you are seen makes sense. It stays, it's really, coherent with the character. So yeah, I'm quite fond of finding out, how to play this and what's going to happen in terms of storytelling. That's the one thing we don't know yet. And it's about what the story is about, truly. Sure, there's this alliance between this rogue assassin and that samurai, which seems to be on both opposite sides first, and then gather together to probably bring down some kind of syndicate or kind of organized oppressive regime, I believe. But it's still a little bit obscure, but maybe we'll have a bit more information via the website when we will look at it in a minute. So yeah, I find this pretty interesting, and I think it's a good upgrade for Assassin's Creed to being this kind of dual mode, because you might have a preference. I definitely enjoyed strong melee attack with Valhalla. This is kind of my way of playing, but having a more stealth approach when necessary is also really cool. So having those two options will bring a lot of, I think, diversity to the gameplay, and there'll be a little bit of everything for everybody. I really like the modulation as well and the work on the lights. What she's going to do in the middle is really cool as well. She's going to hide above the door, and I really like that. This is really cool. All right, and then you can pass by your opponent, so confrontation is not always an option. Maybe just hiding sometimes and waiting for the right moment to strike is the right way to do it. Now, if you look at this section, it's quite interesting as well. The character will go around the pond to access that particular character and assassinate him. That's the purpose of the mission. So she needs to hide from those characters, and she will start to go into the pond and hide there and take some hair with a kind of straw, I believe, so she can stay underwater and not being seen. Now, if you were playing, sneak attack, that's correct, absolutely, sneak attack. If you were to play that particular sequence in winter, the pond will be frozen, so you won't be able to actually progress, and you will have to think about a different approach to kill and take down that character. So if you just wait a bit, then she's under the water, and now she's going to take that straw and take some air. I found this really cool. That is a great idea. I think they put some interesting ideas into the behavior and the expertise of those two characters, because they are already really kind of skillful. And then you have this massive kind of like metallic chain ball that just do a lot of damage around, etc. So it's great to take down multiple opponents at one. You can see that the trees kind of disappeared as well as soon as they were destroyed as well, so to clear out the view for the player. It's a good idea, actually, it works. And now you can flee the scene. You don't have to stay for more than what you are needed for. You know, you are quite vulnerable. I don't think you have a lot of armor or a lot of character resistance. So it's about finding the right timing and do the deeds and disappear into the shadows, which is what this character is all about. Here we go. So pretty badass, pretty stylish. And this is what the promise of the game is in terms of gameplay, in terms of game styles. So Assassin's Creed Shadows will be released in a few months' time. I believe there are already a few. I think the pre-orders are available on the website. We'll look in a minute. And yeah, you have different packs, obviously, and the entire kind of pre-sale bonuses and skins, and you know, all that stuff will be there to incentivize early payment. Obviously, I'm not particularly keen of early purchase for this kind of games. I don't think it really had much. It's more like a trigger to bring a return on investment early for the studios. But you know, just my position. Maybe you have a different view on this. So yeah, let's have a look at the website. Here we go. So this is us. Let me try to interact with it. Here we go. And I should be able to. Oopla, bear with me. I'm trying to find my way. Oops. I should be able to move it around. Hold on. Hold on. Interact. Here we go. Here we are. Okay, I'll put that. I'm not dropping too many frames on this. A little bit. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so November 15th for Xbox and PlayStation, Ubisoft Plus and season passes as well. So we kind of saw what most of the game has to offer in terms of gameplay. A new Creed Rises, live the untold stories of Naue, an undead shinobi assassin from Iga province, and Yasuke, the powerful African samurai of historical legend. So together they will join forces and try to dismantle this syndicate, I believe. So explore feudal Japan. So discovering and exploring feudal Japan. So discover the captivating open world of feudal Japan, from the spectacular castle to towns or bustling ports and peaceful shrines. There you go. So that will be like a beautiful environmental experience. That's for sure. Now you can become the shinobi assassin, or you can become this legendary samurai other ways. Yeah. And then you can obviously have all sorts of weapons that are aligned with your abilities, your skill system, and so on and so forth. So you'll be able to choose one or the other according to your preference and approach missions based on your, you know, the task at hand. Maybe sometimes it's easier to go stealth, or maybe just to go headstrong on the task. So when it comes to the pre-releases, you're gonna have the basic game, okay, sure. Then you're gonna have the 3-day early access. You're gonna have the season pass and the ultimate pack with goodies and skins, and maybe I believe complimentary missions as well. And the collector pack, obviously, with the statue, the map, the altar, the little like flag on the side, probably limited prints as well, which will be, you know, for the collectors and those who have enough space on their shelf, which is definitely not my case. Here you go. So this is Assassin's Creed Shadows in a nutshell. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So many snacks are coming our way. Yeah, so that will be Assassin's Creed Shadows coming up in November. So are you excited about it? I am excited about it. I'm a little bit dready of the length of the game, because those games can be quite time consuming. I remember I'm still playing Valhalla. I'm still on it. I spent over, I don't know, 60 hours on it. So it's a bit of a time investment, but it's completely worth it, I think. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you have the time, and really big time commitments on this kind of open world games can, for me, it starts to be a little bit, I'm going to question my choices a little bit more than maybe before. I really enjoy the scale of Assassin's Creed Mirage. I think the the 35 hours mark was really coherent for what the game had to offer. And but I believe this one will be a little bit longer, and the map will be also a little bit bigger. So I'm expecting probably around 50 to 60 hours of game for this. So you need to have that kind of a schedule available if you want to play Assassin's Creed Shadows. Did you already finish one of the Assassin's Creed so long to? Yeah, I did finish a few actually. I finished Assassin's Creed Origins, and I finished Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm still on Odyssey. I'm still progressing in Odyssey, and I'm still progressing in Valhalla. I'm one of those players who took those games on the reboot a few years back. I've played a little bit with Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I will probably play a little bit of Black Flag as well. I'm quite curious to see how it works. Yeah, exactly. Those environments are really beautiful, and I think this is part of the game. I think this is one of the appeal for me, regardless of criticism sometimes of storylines and a little bit of a plot-based gameplay. It's the environment. It's really beautiful and pretty, and roaming Valhalla, I love it. And Assassin's Creed Mirage is really bursting with life and a lot of things happening. I don't know, it's really cool. I really like it. Cool. So that was Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let's carry on. Next up is going to be Indiana Jones and is it the Golden Circle? I believe it's the Golden Circle. I should have played better. I think it is. All right, so an Indiana Jones game. It's been a while, and I have the feeling that this one takes for inspiration many recent games actually, and the gameplay and the game look almost feels like Resident Evil Village a little bit. It's kind of almost VR point of view, and those big hands coming up and punching and doing all sorts of things. It makes me feel a little bit about Resident Evil Village. Here, I think it's a really good homage to the series and the films. There is a lot of humor, there is a lot of actions. You feel the sense of adventure and the sense of actions that comes with Indiana Jones, and I think it's a pretty cool game. I think there's a lot of promises. I'm not sure about the gameplay as such, because that's something I can't really experience. I have a lot of drop time. I'm just gonna minimize this a little bit, but it looks really cool, and I think most of the players on Xbox will have a good time with it. Overall, I think in terms of look, it looks great. The aesthetic looks good. I'm not sure about the modelization style of the game. I find it a little bit rough on the edge, but maybe it will get better over time. But I would say in 2024, I think we can hope a little bit better, especially if the environment is so well looked after. I would say the face depiction, the texturing, the lighting, the shadowing, the shaders can be a lot better. So I wait and see. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel that like the motion is really great, the motion capture is great, but that looks like a game that looks a little bit like Uncharted 3. And I would have hoped something a little bit better. I was a little bit surprised, but I'm sure the gameplay can be really fun, and for the fun of the draw, it's definitely a long time waiting since we had an Indiana Jones game. So yeah, a bit less comments by this one. Yeah, I do understand. I think it's fun to play because those are the cinematics. You will see in a minute how it looks like in action, but I don't know, it feels like it's one of the things a little bit like Star Wars as well. It's those kind of franchises have a little bit of a curse when it comes to video games adaptation, and they also have a lot of expectations on their shoulders because of the fandom behind and the fans willing to have a true to form experience. So let's find and see. There's a great deal of talent invested into the development of those games, and it's needless to say, and I'm sure everybody's like putting the best foot forward, but it's a matter of art direction. It can be a little bit of the economics of the studios behind as well. Maybe having to cut budget a little bit left and right to make things happen. So yeah, this is Indiana Jones and the Golden Circle. Let's see how it finds out. I'm looking forward to see more of the gameplay online and see how people are enjoying it. I think it can be cool. I think it can be fun. I don't know if there's a VR version to it, because that would be the perfect game for VR in terms of playability. But yeah, let's see. An Indiana Jones game, why not? And again, we haven't seen it in a long time. I don't even remember the last one. I'm pretty sure I didn't play it. But yeah, we'll wait. Maybe this one will also be available on PC. It's definitely not available on PS4, PS5. This is Xbox fer de lance at the moment. They are the kind of prime game. So yeah, best of luck to Indiana Jones, and we'll see how it looks like, in action, I guess. So this is a little bit more about the look of it once you are playing. I think that's pretty cool. I think that works, right? And the modelization doesn't bother me too much when you are in action, but it still look a little bit, you know what I mean? It's like, I wish they if you're going to go for an hyper-realistic environment, you can't really simplify the modelization of character. It creates a form of aesthetic dissonance, and that makes things a little bit strange. Here we go. So that's my feedback on this. Cool. So let's have a look at the website to see what they say. And this one, like, okay, now I know how to do this properly. Cool. So, or do I? I don't know. Have I missed something? Okay. I don't feel like I can scroll. Oh no. Okay, I'm a bit stuck. Okay, well, oops. That is strange. Okay, I don't seem to be able to move from my page. Okay, well, tough luck. I will send. I put the link in the. I will put the link in the chat. Actually, bear with me, so you are not left behind. Bear with me. Boop, 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 boop. And this one will be here. Here we go. So Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, not the Golden Circle. What am I talking about? Here we go. Yeah, it belongs in the museum. It belongs in the museum. That's true. All right, we'll see. We'll find out. Cool. Next up, we're going to look at Star Wars Outlaws. So this one is going to be released very soon as well. This is a work in progress at the moment, and it is part of the Ubisoft showcase that happened earlier this week. So it's the big promise of a Star Wars RPG open world game. It's been a long time coming for this one, and I'm sure the fans of the series will be really excited about it. So this is the studio behind Assassin's Creed. We are now looking after the franchise, the Star Wars franchise, I think after EA Games. And that opens a lot of possibilities as well in terms of gameplay and for the studio to really, put their mark on it. Now, when it comes to playability, we will see a little bit how it looks in the video, but there is a lot of option there as well. So you will be able to customize your characters and to develop the ability a little bit like Assassin's Creed, actually, and go on different bounty and different missions. Now, one of my slight and early concern is the very plot nature of the game. So I hope there is a real story behind it, instead of just having this wide universe of planets and environments and missions to take and fetch, upgrade your character, and become the number one bounty hunter, so to speak, or outlaw in the universe. We will see, but I really hope there is a strong story behind it, and generally it's not always the case. So we'll see what is the outcome of this, but the game looks beautiful. I think very true to the franchise, very true to the IP. The motion, so we'll see in a minute. I think she feels a little bit light on her feet. There's not a lot of weight and gravity to the animation. It could be a little bit better. She has this little companion pet, I guess, or little character going with her, and she will be able to use it as a decoy or a distraction, so she can attack and distract the opponent as well. Now, what I really like is the fact that you can go in and out of your ship and leave the base or the camp or the planet where you are to go somewhere else. And it's almost seamless in terms of transition. So you go through your ship, you can sit down and take control of your ship, and now you can leave the particular station where you are. I think that's pretty cool. I think it looks pretty good. And there again, I do have the same criticism as for Indiana Jones, which is hyper-realistic environment and very kind of simplified character modelization. I'm not sure what it is with this, but it seems to be a strange trend instead of aesthetics. Yeah, I'm not sure. If you have any feedback on that, I'd be very curious to find out why this is happening, especially when you have like renders or game engine like Unreal that are creating this kind of pixel and resolution management when you can have really high details and I don't know. I'm a bit surprised, but sure. Now, when it comes to Star Wars games, a long history of games, obviously, a long history of titles. Some really good, some less good than others. It feels always a little bit challenging to create a Star Wars game. There's, again, a lot of expectations. People want to have combats, people want to have Starfleet interaction, they want to explore planets, they want to be a Jedi, they want to be a Stormtrooper. There's a lot of different things that come into play. And it's hard to cater for an audience who have very different needs. And I think this RPG could be doing that pretty well. So I'm hopeful that it will bring all the players of Star Wars game together and give them the experience that he seek, with a little bit more agency, a little bit more flexibility in terms of gameplay, and give them the possibility to do a lot of different things. It feels really promising. I think it's gonna be a hit, to be honest, and it does have a strange feel of a Western, so it kind of tap into the Mandalorian a little bit in terms of I would say character and culture. It feels you can be this kind of dusty bounty hunter somewhere between Mandalorian and Han Solo, basically. And I think it's pretty cool. I really like that transition right there. You have you're going from hyperspace to that particular planet, and you're going to go through the different layers of the atmosphere to land down. So you have a notion of scale, which was missing from previous games. Now you have this as part of Star Wars Outlaws, which is again pretty cool, pretty visually stunning and immersive. And here we go now. The clouds will open in a minute, and you can land back into the planet. That is pretty cool, right? I mean, that works. Here we go, and now we can come back into that village and see what's going on, and I think it's Tatooine, isn't it? Yeah. So again, a lot of work and passion and sweat and blood invested into the modelization of this world that is so well known by the fan, so well cherished and loved by multiple generations of audience members, and it's a lot of pressure. I can imagine a lot of pressure on Ubisoft's shoulders to deliver a title of that scope. And I'm hoping, and this is pretty much what we saw with GTA as well, that it's going to be a base game that will have a lot of different DLCs and complementary missions and modes, and I think it will last for a while. I mean, definitely many years to come, a little bit like Hogwarts Legacy as well, with new updates. So I'm expecting things to actually be nurtured and enriched as a game experience as we go along. So here you go, you're taking your kind of motorbike speeder. I'm not sure of the terminology, but yeah, you go through different landscape and distances, so you can explore and roam the world a little bit. Now, slight criticism here has to do with the physics of the actual vehicle. For the speed it goes, it does stops quite abruptly. I think that could be a little bit more subtle. There's a little bit of physics that are in need of a little bit of curation, but again, this is a demo, so it's very likely that those little things have been noticed as well and changed ever since. I really like the prep on the characters and kind of scanning the areas before going head first. It's always good. It's a good strategy. It pays off most of the time. And yeah, she will approach and use her little companion to distract some of the guards. Now, again, beautiful texturing and environment. I'm lacking a little bit of atmospherics on this. Also, you do have the sounds, etc., but it's not optical. So it means that this kind of omniscient perspective you have in almost third person, behind her basically, is not really, I would say, personalized or treated cinematically. It's very practical for gameplay, which is really fair and that makes sense, but it's not necessarily very immersive from a player perspective. I wish there was a little bit more care based on the look and the perspective of how the game is seen. Here, a lovely little punch from our lead character, very Uncharted, this kind of little rumble on the camera. You can feel the inspiration, and I believe there's a lot of cutscenes as well, or kind of scripted actions where the character, the player's address is a little bit diminished to let space for more actions and more spectacle rather than just the player playing the action. So there will be some cool stuff happening, and that's quite likely to be in story mode. There will be, I think there will be a story mode and possibly a more kind of open world option. I mean, it will make sense. It will make sense. Cool. So that's, yeah, we know this kind of puzzles for a long time now in the Star Wars universe. I like the fact that she can translate also different languages. I think it's quite cool and quite true to the point of the Star Wars culture. A little bit of light artifacting there. It's a little bit strange, but sure, okay. And then, okay, there again, another Cantina. And she will be under attack right there. So a little bit of embuscade, a little bit of hiding and shooting. I think it's cool. I think it looks great. I think the movement of the character are really smooth. I don't know if the AI is really responsive or not, but you know, it looks good. I mean, it's convincing, right? I mean, yeah, I'll play that. I think it can be pretty badass as a game, and yeah, there's a lot to offer for sure. Then she will call a dragster or a little motorbike, and I think she will flee the scene as well in a minute. So that's something you can do. Your vehicle will follow you, and then you can escape. And you cutscene there. That is, I hope it's like this in the game. I hope it's that smooth and that intuitive. And here we go. So yeah, that is kind of Star Wars Outlaws and how the little game will look and feel like. I think there's a little bit of adjustment on the aesthetic, on the cinematic look of it. And the modelization, again, really good work on texturing and environmental. I think the characters are a little bit lacking details, a little bit of realism. The entire environment looks really credible and tangible and realistic. But the skin, the bone structure, all of this is a little bit on the down low from what the world is offering. Some, yeah, that's the choice again. A little bit of Red Dead Redemption homage, I would say, on that kind of Hegulai multi NPC shooting. And then, yeah, cool. Some really good scene there. That is convincing. I mean, personally, I will definitely try it, and I'm looking forward to hearing what other players will have to say about it. I think it's going to be pretty important for the franchise, definitely important for Ubisoft, and kudos for the people who worked on it. I think it's a pretty good achievement, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see where this will go and how the game will grow over the years for sure. All right, let's have a quick look at the website. Okay, and now I can interact with it. Yeah. Okie dokie, and I'm gonna have the same problem as before. Yes, I believe I have. This is interesting. I'm not sure why I can't really scroll on now. Okay, well, that kind of compromised my plans a little bit, but that's okay. It's okay. I will put the link in the chat so you guys can have a look in your own time and explore the different options of the game and how it's pitched to us. I think it's pretty cool. Have a nice evening as well. Have a nice evening, and how you will return to play. Okay, yeah. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Really cool game, and I have actually played Rise of the Tomb Raider recently. I think you have the first couple of hours on the channel as well if you're curious and want to find out. I think it was a cool game. I think a lot of cinematics in the first few hours. I think it's really cranked up and really intense very early. And again, that try to find its way through. Is it an action? Is it an adventure? Is it an RPG? Is it a survivor? Maybe they try to please a little bit too many people at once. I'm not sure. But yeah, cool games. Tomb Raider, exciting stuff, and the TTRPG coming up as well from Evil Hats. So yeah, that's something I'm excited about. I think it's gonna be interesting. Cool. Cool. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for coming. And Les Contrées de l'Imaginaire, thank you for all the amazing content you're doing. And if you guys are passionate about TTRPG and have a passion for the French language, then Les Contrées de l'Imaginaire are here for you. Have a quick look. It's a really cool channel and a lovely community on Discord as well. All right, so well, that's kind of it, actually. I think we're reaching the end of our little stream. It's been a while. Again, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your feedback. And yeah, I'm looking forward to do another one like this and to share a little bit more about maybe the gameplay of the recent session I've posted online. Maybe Prince of Persia next time. The Lost Crown, pretty cool game. We have a Call of the Sea as well to progress, a little bit of Red Dead 2. Yeah, some pretty cool stuff, some pretty good things. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you so much for today, and I will see you next time. Happy gaming. Bye-bye.